Hosting.
Welcome to another episode. Gas Network presents sports for the culture.
I'm here with the family.
Bryce, XXV, Double I,
Rome,
D-Malo,
Gruff Lion,
T-Boogie, man.
to the greatest sports show on the planet, La Familia. Hope y'all ready for a ride.
Can't wait to hear what you guys got to say.
What up? It's your boy, Scruff Lion. We here. You guys present sports for the culture. The number one sports culture podcast, according to, some people that make more money than me. So let me go ahead and introduce the gang. Top right.
Hey, you know who it is? Your boy Young Rome 22. If you new, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, that follow button. We got another jam-packed show, another great show tonight. So let's get into it, man.
Yeah, man, we got a good show, man. We got a good show. I'm gonna get into my perils and struggles later. But right now, we'll just continue to introduce the gang. Bottom center.
T-Book, Mr. Wash your hands, wash your ass, stay safe and clean out there. Hey, Coach Gas, AAU, baby. We went 2-0 so far. We just getting started. We got a 3-game weekend coming up, and we try to go 5-0 to start the season. So I'm in good spirits. But let's get to the big boy sports talk.
Yeah, man, big boy shit, man, big boy shit. Shout out T Boogie, the wearer of multiple hats, and you know what I'm saying, because he wearing the hat right now, literally. He wearing the gas coaching hat. You feel me? He's stepping into his designer bag. You feel me? Got some real cool shit cooking up. You know what I'm saying? I wear multiple hats too. You feel me? I have taken off my hat of HR director for the night. Hey, if you show up, man. We gonna roll with you. That's how we come. We pulling up. If somebody random would have showed up, I would have probably rolled with them too. But let's get it, man. Let's get it. Let's get into conversation, man. Really gonna be some NFL heavy talk tonight. And we go ahead and get started off with the I think was the biggest story of the weekend to me. I was actually most excited for this matchup between the Buccaneers and the 49ers because I have seen some similarities between the two quarterbacks. Yes, I have. Brock Purdy, who basically landed into a starting job after two quarterbacks went down ahead of him in the 49ers, and he played pretty well. And one Tom Brady, who also just got luckily in the right place at the right time and landed the perfect job. So the two guys going head to head, and I fully expected for Tom Brady to come out with a dub. I'm going to be completely honest with you. But that was not the case, actually. Tom Brady went against a guy with his first start, and he was defeated by the other guy in his first start. And it's Tom Brady we're talking about. So, what are y'all reactions about that period? Like, Tom Brady in that situation, the 49ers, Purdy. Just go ahead. Give it to me, man. What are y'all thoughts on that? T, I'm going to hear for you first because, you're close to the action.
Right up front, I wasn't even worried about Tom Brady. His team, the Bucks just aren't as good as the 49ers. There's no way around that. They're an average team at best. The 49ers are a Super Bowl contender, and that's what you do to average teams. But as far as the quarterbacks, this is the first time, I don't know, I think I said it in the group chat, but this is the first time I thought Tom Brady actually looked old. Like, he missed some throws, and I don't think he was uncomfortable. I've seen Brady off because he was banged up, he was hit, moved off his spot. I kind of feel like Brady just looked old this week, and I think we're starting to see chinks in the armor of Tom Brady. You couple that with what he has going on off the field, this could be the end. But Mr. Purdy, man, you know what I'm saying? Rock out with your Brock out. Hey, the boy's a baller. All right, the boy's a baller. I don't know if he's going to start next season, but right now I think 2 games in, if you're being objective about it, this is a guy you think can lead this team in the playoffs. And I think the 49ers players, coaches, and fans are confident with that. What it means for his future, I don't know. I don't know if we can compare him to Brady. I don't know if he'll beat out Trey Lance next season. But right now, as a Niners fan and historian, I don't see why he couldn't be one of the next great quarterbacks in a storied history of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Pretty big statement.
I mean, that is a big statement, but he's coming off 2 wins. You know, he has played well. You know, he has taken care of the ball and, you know, seems to have the support of the locker room, which is much said. We said something about that earlier. You know what I'm saying? Yo, that really matters. And trust me, I've seen it. I saw Carson Wentz go down at the end of the season, and I seen Nick Foles win a Super Bowl. And you don't get the locker room back after that. So I don't care who you are, Trey Lance, Jimmy Garoppolo, sayonara. You know what I'm saying? And he was playing pretty well. Jimmy was looking like the man. He looked like he had the 49ers with the gun on him. Like, yo, I got you. Not anymore. Because Purdy looked like he might be the guy. Just might maybe. Because what if he wins the playoff game? What if he wins a couple playoff games? Then what if he wins the chip? Ain't no walking that back. I understand. What do you think about Purdy and Brady, who did not look Purdy? Might have.
Well, look, I think we're jumping the gun on Brady just a little bit. I wouldn't say he's washed just yet. He's looked pretty bad all season, realistically. But it looks like, you know, the Bucs are still going to win that division. It's a weak division this year, so they'll still get in the playoffs. If you're giving me Brady, we're looking at it in a game by game basis, then I still think he's going to be favorite in a lot of scenarios. But the Bucs have looked average, and there's no reason to believe in them. I'm just not ready to say that Tom Brady's washed, not until playoff time, especially when he's probably still going to make it. As far as Brock Purdy, I think we talked a lot about it in the group chat, but I think the thing that stood out the most to me is the efficiency. There's a lot to be said about a quarterback that understands the system and can make the plays that are needed to be made when they need to be made. And that's why the team has so much belief in him. That's why the coaching staff is so comfortable with him. And if he's got a little bit of talent too, man. From what I've seen, he can make the throws that a lot of quarterbacks can't make, or that you need a starting quarterback in this league to make. So I see no reason why, if Brock Purdy continues like this, that he wouldn't at the very least at the best be competing with Trey for a starting spot, or at the worst he's your backup for 2023 for sure. So, I mean, as far as leading into the playoffs, I think that's a tall task, but they got the team for him to do it. They got the defense. They got the weapons on offense. And we've seen rookie quarterbacks go on runs like this before with, I believe, Ben Roethlisberger went on a deep run in the playoffs his rookie year. So if you have the right team, which the 49ers do, then you could have a QB like Brock Purdy take you on a run in the playoffs. The Super Bowl is asking a lot, but it's possible.
No, I think like they're more likely to win the Super Bowl. Believe it or not, I actually think they're more likely to win the Super Bowl now with Brock Purdy than they are with Jimmy G. Damn sure with Trey Lance.
Well, I do want to say this though. I think Purdy plays more free than Jimmy G and Trey Lance, right? Because Jimmy G and Trey Lance also come with a lot of media pressure and a lot of scrutiny. Purdy hasn't had to have that yet. You know, he kind of came in with zero expectations. So he's pulling the trigger on that deep ball and living and die by it sometimes, and with no fear, no remorse. I mean, Purdy threw some picks too. He threw a pick that I thought was very Jimmy G-esque. And objectively, I think he reads the field very similarly to Trey Lance. I think he gets the ball out a little bit better on time, but they're taking some of the same shots. And their stats are very similar outside of the Trey Lance rushes. But I just wanted to add the point that when you're coming into a role and you don't really have that pressure, it allows you to be yourself. And that's always a more comfortable position than worrying about the fans catching you lip reading you and catching you talking about the coach or worried about.
Yeah. I hear you on that, but I feel like there was a ton of pressure for Purdy going into his first start against Tom Brady. It's Tom Brady's basically home team kind of thing. Like Brady's got his family there, you got your family there. So I feel like there was a fair amount of pressure for this first start. And I think that was another thing that stood out to me is how composed he was throughout most of it. Even when he threw that interception, he didn't seem rattled in the least bit. And I think I said in the group chat, that was probably, and it's a small sample size, but that was probably the best QB play I've seen from a 49ers QB this year. And that's not to say that he's better than Garoppolo or Lance. That's just to say that, and that's in the sample size that I've seen from Purdy, he's been that efficient. I think he only missed like 5 passes the other day.
I mean, he threw a pick, came back through a tug. But also, he has CMC, he has Kittle, he has Debo, he has Ayuk. We never saw Lance with the full array of weapons. But I've heard this coming up through the ages, right? If you have two quarterbacks, you have none.
Mm-hmm.
So something has to shake eventually. But as a fan, I'm just willing to ride it out, man.
Well, T, I would throw this question to you since you're a big 49ers fan. If Purdy does lead y'all to a Super Bowl, do you want Trey Lance to come back and start?
Me personally?
Yeah. And if Purdy continues to look nice the whole way, not on some like the defense is carrying them type stuff. Like if Purdy plays this efficient up to a Super Bowl, do you really want to see Trey Lance come back?
That's one of those, you got to take the good with the bad, right? Because the good is you get the Super Bowl, but the bad is no matter who you start, if they start next season not playing well, the crowd screams for the other guy. No matter, you know what I mean? Like you're going to have a quarterback controversy unless you win a Super Bowl and somebody absolutely plays well. But let's say Purdy wins the Super Bowl. I'd like to see him start next year and Trey Lance just back him up. I mean, unfortunately, it's a lot of draft capital for a backup, but I certainly love to see the guy that won the Super Bowl get his crack at the job, you know, as a starter. Forget all that camp and off-season games matter. So if he found a way to win the Super Bowl, I'd like to see him get at least 4 games next year.
All right. Enough future talk, man. You know, because he ain't did all that shit yet. Let's cool it back. I know I started it, but like, let's pull it back. Let's pull it back. But yeah, I ain't gonna lie, man. He got the potential there. You know, this is the similar situation that Tom Brady stepped into, right? This guy, you said he was Mr. Irrelevant or something like that. He was last pick in the draft.
Last pick in the draft.
He wasn't bad either in college, by the way. Like he didn't have much though. This is the best core he's ever played with. You know, safe to say. But you know, I will say this about Tom Brady, and this is a definitive statement. This is not a future statement. This is a right now statement. Tom Brady's washed, bro. Tom Brady's washed, bro. I've seen enough. I'm feeling. I've said this before, but I'm feeling very comfortable this time that Tom Brady is done. They're 6-7 right now. They're backing into the playoffs, bro. He looking like a sucker. He looking like a fool. He looking like a bozo, as a word was tossed around, right? He looking like a bozo, bro. And yo, I'm done with Brady. I'm writing Brady off. Officially writing Brady off. Guaranteed. First team out the playoffs, Tampa Bay.
I saw something that makes after that game that makes me want to agree with you. I saw him autographing football from interceptions that he threw, and I get it. You know, it's the PC thing to do, but I'm not throwing no guy an interception and then signing the football. All right.
He looked so uncomfortable in that video.
Wait, who asked him to sign it? The person that received the interception?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's funny as hell.
He signed it. He took the picture. And, you know, everybody was really gracious. You know, you're the best, yada, yada, yada. But to me, that a guy only acts like that when he knows this is the end. Right? Like, if he's in his prime, he's absolutely not signing that ball. He knows. I think he knows, man. I can't do another year throwing to Mike Evans and company. Like,
but okay, let's back it up on that narrative real quick, right? Because like y'all said he had an all-star team just last year. I know Rome not gonna disagree. I doubt. I mean, you might try to pull some shit out your ass, but you can't really disagree, bro, because like he's got the same team back offensively in place and defensively, more or less. So it's like, yo, what's the problem, bro? It's him.
O-line's
I mean, it's it. O-line's hurt, different coach. But look, it's no excuses for Brady, man. They're terrible this year. He's supposed to be the GOAT. We've all seen him miss passes. I lost money because he couldn't hit Mike Evans on that touchdown pass where he was open in the corner and he threw it at his ankle. So you know what I mean? Look, Brady's just struggling this year. But what I'm saying is until he gets into the playoffs and until I see, because right now what we're seeing is the washed version of Tom Brady. But if we get to the playoffs and I still see this washed version, then I'll be on board. But until then, man, until it's clutch, it's do or die. When it's those moments, I'm still rocking with Tom. And that's what the playoffs are.
Let's not be too much of a prisoner of the moment. We just saw Brady lead a Brady-esque comeback. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the week before.
Right. So, like I said, I thought he looked old this week. You know, I thought he did. Bruh, the Tom Brady got choked. I don't know if you got.
Yeah, that was
I saw
crazy
that.
pick, bro. That was they said, I think Brooks had a meme out there. He was like, he had life. It's like when life come at you, it's like,
He got and
yoked.
a flag wasn't thrown. It just seems to me like you're losing your powers a little bit, Brady.
Look, football is a game of momentum. The 49ers got the momentum early. Once that initial Mike Evans touchdown was called back in that game, the 49ers never looked back. They had their foot on the gas and never looked back. And at this age, Brady just doesn't have what it takes to mount that type of comeback in that type of environment. So kudos to the 49ers as a whole, because they really stole the momentum and rode it all the way to the end.
Yeah, man. Credit the 49ers. But that's enough for that for today. We're gonna talk a little bit more about them, I guess.
Yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit more about the Niners.
Depending on how you feel about this answer, though. But I think we should talk about another team in particular. Let's talk about the NFC. Let's keep it in NFC. I think we should talk about another team. I think there's a certain team out here that's not getting the respect that they deserve. Honestly, I feel disrespected, to be honest. I feel like there's a team that's being disrespected because they just keep showing up every week and winning, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles. But let's bring the conversation into perspective. Who's the best team in the NFC? Because that's really what matters here, right? I heard a lot of funny talk over the last couple of weeks of, you guys are going to make the playoffs, but I don't really see you guys making any noise. I don't really see you guys winning any playoff games, type talk. Commander chest guys, their chest is deflated a little bit since, but still riding pretty high, with their left hand up, but they're definitely not in this conversation. Best team in the NFC, fellas. Eagles, 49ers, or someone else. Rome, I'm going to start with you.
All right, bet. So we'll talk about Hurts in a little bit too, I'm sure, but it's honestly tough, Scruff. I know you think I'm going to get on here and just trash the Eagles, but I'm going to keep it 100 here. The Eagles are a very legit team. And even when I looking it up, looking at the stats and all that, the 49ers, the reason I'm going to pick them over the Eagles has to do with defense, but it's actually a lot closer than one may think because the Eagles have the number 2 overall defense in the league currently. But the reason I'm going with the 49ers is because they're just a little bit more trusted for me, right? Like I've seen what Kyle Shanahan does in the playoffs. I've seen what this team can do in the playoffs. I'm still a little murky on the Eagles when it comes to playoff games because that's what we're getting down to now, is what you're going to do in the playoffs when you're playing, tougher opponents. The Eagles have had somewhat of a soft schedule. But I got to go with the 49ers because I just feel like they got the run game, they got the defense that it's going to take to get through some tough playoff matchups, whereas the Eagles are relying a little bit too much on A.J. Brown beating double coverage. And I don't know if that's going to be a continuous thing throughout, a playoff run. So the best team in the NFC to me is the 49ers. And I hate to say it, but it's not by much. It's not by much.
So they're trusted with a guy that has no playoff starts?
I didn't mention the quarterback when I said trusted playoff experience. I mentioned the coaches.
I
mentioned the coaches. So, yeah, good observation.
Yeah, all right. I was just making sure we're not talking about the same thing. Okay, so you're.
And if we're talking about Jalen Hurts' playoff experience, it's losing to Brady in the blowout last year. So I'm interested to see how he bounces back. And it looks like y'all, at least it looks like y'all potentially will get the first round bye. I know we got that bet. I'm not holding out yet on the Vikings, so I don't know if y'all will get it, but it's looking that way. So we'll see how it goes for the Eagles. But I don't think either one of the first round seeds last year made it to the Super Bowl.
So who's coming out of the NFC? You're saying the 49ers that you're suggesting? Is that what you're suggesting?
I still like the Vikings to come out of the NFC, but if you're asking me the best team right now, I'm saying San Francisco.
All right. Both answers are wrong. But I feel it. All right. I mean, Eagles 12-1, bro. I don't know how they're not the best team in the NFC right now, first of all. Secondly, they destroyed the Vikings, bro. They destroyed the Vikings. They made the Vikings look like White Queens, bro. And the Cowgirls, you feel me? I would have almost respected
without
you
that.
The Cowboys. If you would have said the Cowboys, maybe I would have respected you a little bit. We're going to see them boys again soon, bro. We're going to see them boys again soon. T, what you think, man? Who's the best team in the NFC right now?
Best team. Well, I think Rome made some good points, man. number one seeds don't always make it to the Super Bowl, and the best team doesn't always make it to the Super Bowl. But with that being said, I want to reverse engineer this thing a little bit, right? When we start talking about the best team, and to me, the best team is the team that the other good teams don't want to play. So Rome, as a Commanders fan and a playoff contender, if you had to play a team first round, who would you rather play, the Niners or the Eagles?
Definitely the Eagles, but I mean, as a if I'm looking at it from the Commanders' perspective, and no, this is the objectivity. If I'm looking at it from the Commanders' perspective, I'd much rather play a team that they're familiar with, that they've already played twice and beat once in the Eagles, than to go against a 49ers team in a hostile environment. We've already gone to Philly and proven that we can win. And like I said, I've seen what the 49ers can do in the playoffs. I've seen them go on the road and win playoff games. I've seen them win playoff games at home with, essentially the same group. So, yeah, I'd feel more comfortable going against Nick Sirianni and the Eagles.
Okay.
But that's not to necessarily knock Philly either.
Okay. So you got a little bias, but me personally, I feel like right now the best team in the NFC is the Eagles.
You just figured that out just now? I think you just figured that out just now.
Why though? I need to hear the reasoning behind this.
I think the whole NFC playoff picture will come down to matchups. And while I do think the 49ers are going to be a tough matchup for a lot of teams, if you can stop the 49ers run game, I don't care who you got at quarterback. If you can stop the run game, it limits the play action, and they can't get off a lot of the plays they want to get off. That Eagles offense is humming. All right. It's not Kansas City humming. Maybe it is, but it's humming, right? And I think when you have an offense that can put up points at the drop of a dime, they got a quarterback that can run for 150 if he needs to. They got a running back that can run for over 100. They got two receivers that can easily get over 100 yards. Like, they got all the pieces they need, and I think
T, you don't have to be modest, T. You don't have to be modest.
I'm not being modest. I'm not being modest. I really think Jalen Hurts is running his offense better than every quarterback in the league right now, and I think that makes the Eagles probably the better team. Jalen Hurts versus a guy that just got there. We'll see. But I think the Eagles are the best team. Will they win? I wouldn't bet on it, but I think they are the best team.
You mentioned matchups, right? And we all saw the Commanders beat the Eagles on Monday Night Football, right? And in large part, it was due to the matchup. Washington ran the ball, played solid defense. What do the 49ers do? Run the ball and play solid defense. Y'all are like Washington, but like the Super Saiyan version. So how do you think that the 49ers don't match up well?
That's if they make it there, bro. It's gonna come down to matchups. What T said.
I didn't say it.
Well, the matchup they would have right now would be against my Commanders. So T, are you taking the Commanders in San Fran?
Is that the matchup? Because
that would be the current matchup if it started today.
No, absolutely not. Taking the Niners.
Yeah, right. That's what I would figure too.
I mean, I still think the Eagles are the best team, like 12-1, right? I don't care how you slice it. If my team has one loss and your team has 2 or 3, like, don't disrespect me and tell me your team's better. Like, the numbers, you need to get out there and beat me for me to consider you better. And until then, I like the Eagles as the best team. I don't think the best team always wins the Super Bowl. But I like the Eagles as the best team.
Yeah, I agree with that. Offense is definitely humming. I
did predict them to go 6-0.
You did, but I did predict only have like 2 losses. So we're looking good we're looking good for that, bro. We're looking real good. All right, man. I didn't have time to run no tape, but just believe me when I said it. I did say before the season started that Jalen Hurts is going to be in the MVP conversation. I did not think that he was going to actually win the MVP though. But here we are. What week are we in? 12, 13, 15? I'm not even sure.
14.
Yeah. Yeah. Getting kind of late in here in the MVP race. Getting kind of late out here, guys. And Jalen Hurts is still in the race. So I guess we could safe to say, yeah, he's in the race, right? But who's your MVP if you had to give it out? T, I'm sorry with you.
Hurts.
My man.
Straight to the point, Hurts. I mean, Mahomes is doing a lot, right? He has probably 1,000 more passing yards than Jalen Hurts, but I think Jalen Hurts has damn near 800 rushing yards. Like, it's incredible numbers.
Yeah, man, I feel it. I can't imagine having more faith in a rookie than over the likely MVP. I agree. Jalen Hurts is the MVP, man. Playing great, bro. And I really am happy for the dude because he puts in all the work, bro. He has a great attitude. He improved himself. The offense is, everything's going great for him, man. He's getting every, he gave him his piece and he deserved it. Like, it's beautiful.
Just last year, we was wondering if he could even lead a team with his arm. So, he's come a long way.
But just know this also, that I always saw the diamond in the rough could have came today. I told y'all he had certain intangibles, bro. And y'all was just so caught up on his accuracy and, he's not that good of a passer and all that. But, intangibles, bro, as a leader, as a hard worker, as a winner, somebody that's been through stuff, learned his lessons, bro, these are all the things I look for. Intangibles. You can't teach that stuff, bro.
I do want to apologize, right? Because I thought, coming in, I thought Sirianni, whatever.
Sirianni.
All right. I thought him and Hurts would be out of the league by now. So after Hurts bench, I thought he'd be out of the league. I thought Hurts would be a Pro Bowler as a kick returner. All right. I thought this guy would be Josh Cribbs. And I was wrong. He put the work in. The piece fell into place, and he's looking like a stud. So, apologize to Jalen Hurts. I wish Lamar Jackson could take his game to that level.
Wow. Oh man, no, I feel you though, bro. I do feel you, bro. I'm gonna save my Lamar Jackson hate for another day. You know what I'm saying? Because actually, did I talk to you, Born, about this yet, Ron? Go ahead, man. What's your MVP?
Man, look, first of all, you didn't talk to me about this because y'all just been fucking glushing over Jalen Hurts for the last however many minutes and then throwing shade at Lamar Jackson unnecessarily, as T loves to do. But look, we're talking the MVP race, man. If you would have asked me this last week, I would have made a strong, compelling argument for one Patrick Mahomes, who I don't think is losing this MVP race by a lot. But after he threw 3 interceptions and allowed the Broncos back in the game, I think it's clear for everyone to see, man. It's Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, however, does have an all-star cast in A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Miles Sanders, great offensive line, everything under the sun, right? And he is running his offense to perfection, and it's an offense tailored to him and his skill set that he ran in college, so he should be running it to perfection. And that's not to take anything away from him. But when you look at Patrick Mahomes and what he's done this season, he's doing it with the receivers whose name I literally forget every time I even try to remember because they're Jags. They're just guys. They're nobody important. He has a much tougher schedule. You look at the Eagles schedule, I think they got 4 teams on there with winning records. Pat's been playing, teams like the Bills, top contending teams and still finding a way to win. Meanwhile, Jalen Hurts is beating up on teams like the Texans and the Colts. But, I'm going to give the guy his credit, and he doesn't make the schedule, and he's just gone out and bought out each game. So I'll give him the MVP, but I think it's a little bit closer between Pat Mahomes and Jalen Hurts than y'all are giving it credit for.
Hurts.
What? Bro, we just balled out on a team that y'all tied with, bro. What are you talking about? we kicked their ass, bro. They were not on the same level as us at all.
Who on Washington is in the MVP conversation? So beating the Giants, crushing the Giants helps Jalen Hurts MVP race 0. I don't care what they did with Washington. What would Patrick Mahomes do to the Giants? Did they play this year? Because they probably put up similar numbers, I'm sure.
So did they not make light work of your Super Bowl pick? The Vikings? Did they not do that?
They did in week 2. And I'm giving Jalen Hurts the credit. He's the MVP currently. But I think Patrick Mahomes is still right there in that conversation. I don't think it's a clear consensus. Give it to Jalen Hurts.
And didn't 3 out of 4 did not 3 or 4 out of y'all, and actually did not 4 out of 4 of us pick the Titans to beat the Eagles in our pick'em, and they beat them by 35 points. Do you remember that too? Do you remember that?
I do remember that. I remember that. I remember that.
Do you remember that? Do you? Do you remember when you said Cooper Rush is going to beat us too? Do you remember that? I got all
Hey,
the receipts.
Dak will. I know that.
I got all the receipts. I think you said Doug Peterson was going to beat us too. Yeah, Dougie P revenge game. Yeah, all right. Yeah,
Yo,
all right.
Dougie P should have had y'all, man. That was a little close one for y'all, for real.
Yeah, nothing close
But
about it, man.
we'll see what happens when you start playing teams that are over 500.
Hey, let it be known, bro. Let it be known.
Have 6 games against playoff contenders just in the division.
Word. Facts. Actual facts, bro.
Okay, so now we're you 2 seconds ago it was the Giants are trash, and now it's they're playoff contenders.
They're
Like the
in
Giants
the
are a joke.
They're
The Giants are a joke.
They're a playoff
Oh my
team.
gosh.
They're a playoff team.
Okay. They're a playoff team today. Will they be a playoff team by the show by the show's start next week?
You didn't beat them.
That's a great question.
Will they be a playoff team this time next week?
But you didn't beat them though, which makes me feel like you can't really get too spicy here, bro. It's like y'all had every opportunity to take in, command respect, but you didn't command respect. You didn't command respect. You didn't command respect, bro. You attracted the L, bro. That's the absolute opposite of commanding, bro. You did not command anything, bro. You landed on the L, bro. I mean a tie, bro. It's actually not commanding at all. It's actually very much sitting on the fence, bro. But let's move on. Like you said, you I feel like I might have your answer for this. But let's talk about the playoff picture, man, the wild card spots, man. So right now in the NFC, the Commanders and the Giants are both 7-5-1, and they are effectively tied. That's right, Ron. Tied. For last place in the playoffs, essentially 6, 7, whatever, it's all the same. But they're tied, because they tied, and they have the same record, So hey, so that's the last 2 teams in the NFC playoff picture right now. With that being said, the Seahawks are also 7-6, officially are in the hunts, as you say, and the Lions are 6-7, also technically in the hunt. Shout out Jameson Williams for saving me in fantasy football, because Lamar Jackson did not. He left me out there without a quarterback in the most crucial time. But I prevailed, bro. I prevailed. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Big league shit. 6-7 Lions. All right. So what team out of those teams are most likely to fall out of the playoffs, and which teams are most likely to slide in? Rome, I'm gonna start with you, man. Who's most likely to fall out? Who's most likely to slide in?
Well, I'm already on record. I think we said it last week or the week before. I don't have the Giants winning another game this season. I think they might have a chance against the Colts in the last game, but they'll already be out the playoffs by that time. So I got the Giants sliding out, and I think the Lions might go on a run here and slide in. I like the Lions to slide in.
For clarification, you don't slide out, you fall out. You slide in.
Fall out, slide out. The Giants is out. Gerardo gonna be.
Purposes, when
you're
gonna
sliding, have a bag next time you're here.
For all intents and purposes, when you're sliding, you're usually sliding into something. All right, that's just my experience, bro. But I can't speak for all experiences. T, man, what do you think? Who's falling out and who's sliding in?
This is gonna be a bold take,
and no one. You could say if you want, you can say the same. So
I was gonna say this might be a bold take. If anybody slides out, it'll be the Giants, right? But this could be a bold take, but I think this stands pat. I don't think it shakes up anymore. I think the Seahawks have a chance to fall out, but they're playing.
They're already out, so
well. They could be in if they get a win against the Niners.
Well, that's where they got to slide in.
Right.
They're not going to do that, I guess, right?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it remains how it is. Giants sneak in. This might be the first time we see an entire division make the playoffs too. That's another bold take. Mathematically, I think all of those guys can make the playoffs, right?
Yeah, no, 100%.
And just for the record,
they're all slated to make the playoffs right now today.
And so this could. I'd like to see it stand pat. I think it will.
You know what's interesting about the Giants is that they play the Eagles on the last day of the season, and I don't suspect that game is going to be very significant in terms of standings, as the way things are looking right now. So that might be a dub, like a layup.
Eagles may sit their starters.
Yeah, Eagles might be
you're
sitting there starting.
probably playing against Gardner Minshew, you know what I'm saying? So I think that works in their favor. The fact that we're ahead of them and we played them last game of the season, that could be like a layup. But we'll see, man. We'll see. Let's move on, man, to the the AFC playoff fixture rather. Somebody just technically just slide it in, technically. But we got the last two playoff spots are the Dolphins at 8-5. And I'm not even going to really put them in this conversation because I'm pretty sure everyone agrees that they're going to be in the playoffs, all right? So really, let's just talk about this final one playoff spot, which is currently owned by the Patriots. They did pretty good last night. I mean, I don't know what I was doing dropping the Patriots defense in any league, but that was the worst decision I ever made because they just defense and special teams is like literally the whole team. But hey, they're currently 7th right now, holding the final the playoff spot in the wild card for the AFC. But they got some company for real because the Chargers are 7-6 and the Jets are also 7-6. They did recently beat the Jets. Am I correct in saying that? The Pats beat the Jets a few weeks ago, right? Yeah. So what do y'all think, man? Who's falling out? Who's sliding in? T, I'm sorry, too.
I don't know, man. Pats they're not good, man. They're not, but they can beat other not good teams, if that makes sense. They're the best.
Yeah, that's so true.
Honestly, I'd have to see their schedule to really know, but I think Bill really, really wants this one. I don't know, man. I think Bill is going to find a way to get that team in the playoffs.
Want to hear the schedule?
Yeah, you got the schedule?
Yeah, they got the Raiders. They got the at Raiders. They're Bengals at home. They got the Dolphins at home. They got the Bills. Pretty tough schedule, though.
No, they're done. They're done.
Yeah. They're done.
They're done. They have no shot.
Now, on the flip side, the Chargers have the Lions, the Jags, the Seahawks, and the Dolphins on the last game.
All those teams are going to need to win.
Maybe not. The Lions and the Jags technically, are they out? That's a good point, though. This is tough either way. This is going to be really interesting.
That AFC playoff might be way more interesting than the NFC.
Yeah, for real. And then the Chargers, just for good measure, Titans,
they're in.
Colts, Rams, Broncos. They actually have the easiest schedule.
They're in.
Ooh,
which team is that?
That's the Chargers. I think the Chargers are in and the Patriots are out.
That seems likely because that's winnable. Pats could surprise you though, but
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised really if the Pats did make it, bro.
Play some of the most boring TV, boring football TV, like,
bro. Right on Monday Night Football, bro. I was like, bro, I forgot that joint was even on.
They have no exciting players on offense. Like, who's exciting on their offense? Hunter Henry?
Bro, that Hunter Henry joint was like a great play, though. That was like a 39-yard bomb. They changed it from 40, and I missed the extra points on fantasy. But shout out Hunter Henry. And shout out Evan Ingram, bro. Shout out Evan Ingram had the fucking game of his life. The game of his life yesterday. Oh, Sunday, bro. Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to Matt Judon, who's in the MVP conversation.
If your name start MJ, you're great.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time debunking that one, but you know what I'm saying? All right. I ain't mad at you. But yeah, man, fantasy football's been interesting, man. Shout out. I just realized that Hansel had us extend the playoffs for an extra week so he could mathematically still be alive for an extra week. I'm like, damn, that had good reasoning in the beginning. Now I see it was all self-interest. But shout out my guy, Father First, the original inaugural champion of the Gas League, is officially out. I lost last week. I think I'm out too. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yes, sir.
I haven't looked yet.
I'm out.
You're out. Dude, you've been
T,
out, bro.
we knew that. We knew that.
Who's in it? Who's in it? Is it playoffs time yet? Should we talk
Yes,
about
sir.
that? Should we announce the bracket? Who got the bracket, bro? Because I ain't gonna lie, I was a sore loser. I didn't look at it.
Big Shirley's definitely in.
All right, let's
That's the only person I'm worried about. She took me out last year. That's the only person I'm worried about.
I hate the fact that you're in it, bro. Wait, am I out? I'm 7-7. That's not bad.
Yeah, you're out, bruh. You out. That ain't good enough.
Nah, but there's some 7-7 teams in there.
Is it?
No, I don't think so. 8-6 is the mark.
8-6 was the magic number.
All right, so we got Young Rome going against White Wall, which is a great matchup because they talk the most shit in the league. So somebody gonna have to shut the fuck up after this week. Thank you. I don't even care who it is, really. I really don't even care on this one. Like, I could actually root for you on this one, Rome, but I don't even, because that dude be talking reckless, bro. I don't even know whose man's that is. We got Rock Dynamite, who played a pretty good season this year. I ain't gonna hold you.
My God.
Yeah, shout out Rock Dynamite going against the Mr. Big Leaguer, Mr. Thanos himself, which he actually is the lowest projected scoring in the playoffs of anyone playing right now. So we'll see about that.
He stayed good on that promise, though. He started off terrible.
He did make good on his promise, bro. The good mister won't lie to you, as he says. All right, DJ K Show going against Big Shirley, man. That's actually the premier matchup of the week, in my opinion. The White Wall matchup, and that matchup is definitely one I got my eyes on. And actually, when we constructed, there's a lot of good matchups, bro. These are all good matchups, for real. Because the last one is when I constructed the divisions, I constructed the rivalry between these two longtime college friends. My boy Kevin Brooks, our gas analytics, and Jared, little bro, you feel me, one of the original founding fathers. So that's going to be a good matchup right there. So I'm excited to see that one too, man. But shout out to everybody in the Gas League. Shout out to everybody that, participated, involved in it. And, I'm in a very strange spot, man, because I was not good enough to make the playoffs, but I wasn't shitty enough to make the doo-doo bowl. So I'm happy about that. D-Malo and T-Boogie are our residents, and they are currently in the bracket. So good luck to y'all in the doo-doo bowl. There is respect on the line. So don't blow it. Don't blow it.
Yeah, man. Gas fantasy has definitely gone better than the pick'em for me this year. It's been a down year in the pick'em. I noticed that T actually caught me, which I can't believe, man, because I was up like 7 points at one time on you. Now you done overtook second place.
I told you guys, I figured out the good mister's betting strategy. You know what I'm saying? I figured out what he was doing. And I don't think I've had a week worse than him since. I figured him out.
This week
might be a little late, though.
This week was my worst week ever, bro. Like, I think I had 3. It was like, okay, I'm done. I'm super done.
I still think the good mister has a week where he's going for 3 or 4.
I think he's going to pull away with it, to be honest.
Okay.
I mean, I think whether it's close or not is really just, who cares? But, like, I don't think he's losing it. So that's really what it comes down to. Yeah, man. So, pretty good show. I mean, we got a final couple minutes, so let's go ahead and kick it off. Some culture topics. I've been watching a lot of Netflix during the day, man. My job is remote. My life is pretty chill. And what are you watching is Wednesday. I don't know if y'all have been watching Wednesday.
Yes, sir.
But Dog, she's a very well-written character. I used to mess with the Addams Family a little bit back in the day, snap, you know what I'm saying? So I like it because it's like, it's old school vibes in terms of like the Addams Family, but it's also like new vibes because he's kind of focusing from the female lead. And I guess she is the littest character on the show. The rest of them is kind of weirdos for real. So I do understand their choice because Pugsley's a bum, like, you know what I'm saying? And like, I guess Lurch, Lurch
Wednesday always been the most lit. She always been the most lit.
Lurch is funny, but like you're not gonna follow Lurch around, and the little hand thing is basically, he basically on campus too. So it's like, fuck it, dog. And even got a little Uncle Fester appearance, bro. So like, I was thoroughly happy with that, and that's definitely my favorite thing that I've been watching. Trying to think if there's something else that I can think of. Nothing else actually. Rome, what you got?
Yeah, I got Wednesday, man. I haven't finished it just yet, but It's definitely dope. I was a huge Adams Family fan, and Wednesday was always my favorite character just because of like the way that her character is portrayed is just like sarcastic and dark, but like chill about the whole situation. Like the way, like, or not to give away any spoilers, but man, when she did the piranha shit, the way she was just like chill about that, like it was just like, yeah, I do it again too. Like I fuck with Wednesday, man. She's my vibe. She's definitely my vibe. It's a
Yeah,
great show though. Like it's funny. It's got a lot of different elements to it, so it's very enjoyable. One of the better
yeah.
Netflix shows.
She funny as hell, dog. They just like, yo, you had an attempted murder. What would people think about that if they had that on your resume? It's like, well, it would look terrible. You know, they would know that I failed.
Yeah.
They knew I wasn't successfully murdering. Like, yo, that's fucking twisted shit, bro.
Yeah,
But nah, I
the
fucks
shit
with
that
it.
would be off put into like the majority of people, she just like lives in that. Like,
And I didn't realize that's the female John. She also was in she was in You, and she was pretty good in that too. I heard rumors she's dating Pete Davidson, but like, Lord, Pete Davidson, bro, like, what the fuck, bro? Just like, is she even 18, bro? She
that's what
18,
I was thinking. I don't even know.
but she
That's
plays.
a great question.
She's playing a 13-year-old or something like that, dog. So like,
It's going crazy right now.
bro, Pete Davidson is definitely aligned with some powerful people, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. T man, what are you watching, bro? Besides Call of Duty?
I'm actually like on episode 6 of Wednesdays. Probably like I'm watching a few shows. It's probably the fourth best show, at least to me. Well, no, I'm not gonna say fourth best, fourth favorite. Wednesday's a very good show. So I'm glad you guys brought it up. But I'm watching Peripheral, which just ended on Amazon Prime. Great show about a chick that gets a virtual reality headset, and to describe it would be to give it away. But basically, inside that virtual reality headset, she's a video gamer, plays like Call of Duty type games, and she's elite at it. Watching Echo 3 on Apple.
You said she's a weed addict?
I said she's elite at it.
Oh, okay, my bad.
She's elite at it. I watch Echo 3 on Apple, and Echo 3 is about it's kind of about three people. It's almost like three main characters. There's a wife, a husband, and the wife's brother. So essentially a brother-in-law. The brother-in-law, well, the wife's brother, he's a like Navy SEAL squad leader type guy, and his sister's husband is in his troop, in his unit. So they go out, do a mission, yada yada. They end up coming home beefing over how the mission went, which causes some strife with the wife and the husband. And then the wife ends up getting kidnapped in Colombia, and they got to get her back. So they got to work together to get her back. If you're a true military guy, you're probably gonna hate the show because it's not really lifelike. But it's a good storyline, and each show gets better and better and better. Actually, last episode didn't even have the brother and the daggone husband, and I thought that was the best episode. But I'm watching Echo 3, and I'm watching Sylvester Stallone in Tulsa Kings, and I think we're only up to episode 5. But Tulsa Kings is a interesting show. It's funny. Basically, Sylvester Stallone plays a old New York mafia guy that did 25 years. He gets out of jail and he goes back to the family, and they tell him like, thanks for doing your 25, but we have nothing here for you in New York. But you can go set up shop in Tulsa. So Sly is a real true New Yorker. So he goes to Tulsa and he's looking around like, cowboys, what is this? Now, mind you, he's been in jail for 25 years. So things like weed shops and FaceTime and all this stuff, like he's just been made aware of. But he goes to Tulsa and he puts it down almost 1980s mafioso style. And it's an interesting show because he's literally acting like old mobster in the current age. It wouldn't, I don't know, it probably wouldn't play out like this in real life, but like he basically, no spoilers, but like there's a scene where he goes to a weed shop and he's like, hey, who runs this joint? Like, you're going to give me 20% of everything you make, and I'll keep those guys off you. Like, I'm keeping you safe. And they're trying to tell them, like, we're legal. Like,
that ass, bro. The game's unchanged, bro. Like, this shit's crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, even like, and for 20 years, I'd imagine it's even more. But even for me, bro, like,
a lot of culture shock. But I think it does a really good job of showing like how old school values there's still a place for old school values in today's times. As much as the Gen Zers want to do away with it, there's some value in that old way of life and that the old fashions, the old having respect, treat women right, yada, XYZ. But that's pretty much what I'm watching right now.
That's actually good, man. I mean, the message is good. I like that.
I think most TV watchers would enjoy Tulsa King. I think it's one that every demographic would kind of enjoy.
What's that on?
Paramount or Epix? I can't remember off the top of my head.
I don't got that joint.
Yeah, I got so.
I was gonna say I got too many now. For
Yeah, it's like having cable all over again.
I might have to cancel HBO, bro, because they ain't about to serve me nothing for months. I'm about to have to cancel them, guys.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while for HBO.
It's gonna be a while, bro. Like there ain't nothing else going on, bro. I done caught up on all that joint. I'm gonna wait till 2024 and shit. Like,
right.
Yeah, you ain't gonna see my money until 2024 either. Like,
Hey.
I'm about to go give you Paramount Plus or Epix. Like, fuck it, like, for real.
Hey, but I do want to talk about Wednesday a little bit too, because that is one of the shows I'm watching. And to me, it's kind of a coming of age show a little bit too.
Definitely.
Yeah, like I feel like we're watching Wednesday kind of grow up and mature a little bit.
Yeah. She was growing with dealing with her own little shit, you know. She got a little therapist, you know what I'm saying? She doing her thing. She doing her thing. She's starting to grow. I see in the development. Shout out Brienne of Tarth, though. She's killing that role as the headmistress.
Yeah, like that's just a really, as much as I want to hate Netflix because they
right.
They did a good job casting. That was good writing. It was good everything, bro. They nailed it.
The only thing I don't like is I don't like who they picked to play the parents.
I like those people.
I don't know. Maybe I'm a Addams fan, like purist or something. I don't know. That just the Morticia and I can't even think of the dad's name right now.
Gomez.
The couple from the movie, from the couple of movies, when they had the MC Hammer soundtrack and all that, like it's almost like Keanu is Batman. Like I can't see anybody.
I feel you. That's how I felt about the last Batman. I don't know the guy's name, but the dude that was on Gossip Girl.
Whatever his name.
Yo, that's where he was from.
That's what I know him from. Yeah.
I just knew he was white. I didn't really know much else.
He was alright though. He grew on me over time.
I couldn't stand that last Batman movie, bro. That joint was way too long.
It was like you had to be at the crib. I had a little microdose of the mushrooms when I was watching it. It was good.
You had to have the right setup.
Oh yeah, you had to be at the crib, bro. If you was at the movies, like with your family and all that, that was like perfect for me. I'm solo dolo. It's just me at the crib. I smoked, had a little microdose in the mushroomies, and I'm watching that shit. I'm getting the nice little visuals. You know what I'm saying? It's real dark. It's real rugged. I'm like, damn, all right, it's pretty good. Very dark. And I liked, he had a little love interest with Catwoman. I love me some Zoe Kravitz, bro. So.
Did we ever discuss my bold take that Wakanda Forever is better than Black Panther?
No, actually, we did not discuss that on the show.
This is actually a safe space potentially to discuss that because all three of us have actually seen it.
Yeah.
So I got a few likes. I tweeted it out. I got a few likes. I thought I would receive some hate. Got a few likes and some. I agree. And I'm not sure what people. All right. Just as a pure movie person, I'm not sure why people like the first one better than the second one.
Bro, the plot, bro. It's the plot, and it was the villain for me. It was the plot, and it was the villain for me, and also just felt like they were just trying to like create like a fucking storyline. You know, like they were just trying to create a villain. Like, you know, it wasn't like natural, organic to me. Like it was just forced.
Okay.
The second movie to me, it felt a lot of it's a lot like a lot of Marvel movies when they come out with a sequel. It felt like they were trying to squeeze a lot of new, like, oh, like this is gonna happen next. Like, what? Look at this new character. What's gonna happen? What's the story with this character later? Instead of being like, this is this movie. The reason I like the first movie better is because it's a little bit more precise. It's a little bit more, this is who we're talking about. This is the story in this movie. This is what needs to happen. Here's your antagonist. Here's your protagonist. Whereas the second one, the antagonist, was he really the antagonist? It almost felt like they weren't even really supposed to be really going against each other like that in the first place. Like, and then when they added Riri Williams into the jump, I know that character from the comics, and I just felt like, as for the movie, they were just like, we need to put this character in the movie. Here she is, and we're not gonna really explain much of it. She's just fucking in it, and she's here for all of it.
Okay.
So it just a lot of it felt forced to me.
So,
Right. So you agree, Ron?
so my kids,
Yeah,
my kids was like, "Hey, that's Ironheart or something," and I'm like,
yeah.
I have no idea who that is.
Yeah.
So that absolutely has no effect on me watching the movie. And I think I have a unique angle on watching these movies because I could care less about the comics and I could care less about the canon storyline. Like, just give me a good movie. I'm actually over comic book movies, period. If they never made another one, I wouldn't care.
Yeah. But the fact that you're saying that after watching Black Panther 2, it means like, you know, it wasn't that good.
Put it like this.
Because if it was really that good, you wouldn't say that.
To me, right, there hasn't been a comic book movie that was life-changing. There hasn't been. The closest thing is the original Black Panther because it was iconic to see a black superhero. But like, as far as movies go, like just as far as a pure movie, pure script, let's say racism never existed and then we all had equality, the movie just wouldn't be that significant to me. I mean,
So is it that Wakanda 2 is better, or you just don't hold the first one up that high?
I think it's a little bit of both. And I thought Wakanda 2 gave me more mystery, more intrigue. Like I kind of cared to see how they had what's that, vibranium, and I wanted to see the underwater world. Like it made me want to know more about this group of people.
That's what Marvel does with their. If you go back and watch any Marvel movie where it's the sequel, it's the second one, they do a great job of making you be like, damn, is there more to what I'm watching right now? And maybe it just depends on the moviegoer. Because for me, I like movies when it's like definitive of, you can always leave me with a little cliffhanger and all that at the end, but I just felt like it didn't feel like when they were fighting, it didn't feel like it mattered because it was like a truce at the end anyway. It was almost like what was the point of all of it? Like the story was cool, but it just felt like, did it need to happen?
If
also the fighting didn't make sense, bro. Like they should have lost. You know what I'm saying? Like they would have got bodied in reality, bro. Like there's no way, bro, the Wakandans would survive that battle, bro.
All right, I would say the battle on the boat, they probably should have got killed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'll say this. If this is the same storyline with T'Challa instead of Shuri, is the movie better?
See, that's the other thing too. I don't think that the movie was bad. I feel like when we compare them and we say one's better than the other, the connotation is that the other one was trash or something. Like this movie was very good. I thought Angela Bassett was incredible. I think as far as superhero movie goes, you don't always get like a crazy acting performance, but I think for what she was asked to do in this movie, she nailed it. Personally, and it did have a compelling story, but it just didn't pull me in the same way that the first one did.
I can sum it up in 2 words: bridge movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so I do want to. I praise the movie. I want to say one of the worst things. You know, I gotta be even-handed here. One of the worst things about the movie to me, and maybe I'm just a cold-hearted guy, but when T'Challa's mom died, I absolutely did not care. And it's
I was a little hurt, bro, because like she was like kind of like the symbol of strength. Because like basically, bro, the daughter was fucked up, bro. You know, she was all like I'm like she was. You know, it was like a whole about grieving. Like this joint was all about grieving. You know what I mean?
I felt like I'm gonna tell you what did it for me, right? When the mom stripped Youngin of her
I feel you. That was bullshit.
I was like, all right.
She was grieving too, though.
That's what I mean, though. That's another thing that was completely forced by Marvel being such a huge entity now. So the only reason that Homegirl got stripped is because she's getting a show on Disney Plus. That's why she got the little suit at the end and all that. Like, that's not even part of nothing. They literally just did that so that when she pops up on Disney Plus later, you're like, oh yeah, they stripped her of her throne and all that. You know what I mean? Like that was.
Oh, they trying to low here. They trying to low here.
Yeah, that's exactly what you got it. You got it.
They just dead and low key. They didn't even really have no plot for them. They're like, well, we're just gonna leave it open. We'll see what we want to do later.
And see, Rome, listening to you talk is why I won't read any of the Game of Thrones books.
You don't.
I put them on my Christmas wish list. I'm about to read them joints.
Nah, I'm gonna just put them on my bookshelf and then
Look smart. Nah, I'm gonna read the shit.
No, because
I gotta get to know the characters, bro. I'm gonna know so much more than y'all, man. It's gonna be a wrap.
Rome essentially just alluded to like one of the parts of the movie that I didn't like is just a plot device, and I was hoping it wasn't just a plot device, but yeah, like, and it made me not care when the queen died because it was like, what did we lose? Like the queen can't even fight, you can't even swim. Like, what did we lose? Like,
I was upset when she died because I liked the character, and I didn't really see it coming. But when it happened, it felt like it was necessary for the movie to progress. It felt like it was needed. So I thought it was one of the better parts of the movie. But I don't know. The movie, like Scruff said, it was really just a bridge movie. So
agree. Honestly,
but it was a good bridge movie because I do want to know more. I do want to see more of what was it, Talokan or whatever the underwater world was?
Yeah, can he still fly? He got his foot feathers ripped off.
They ripped them Jones off, right? So I don't know. Probably not.
Athlete's feet.
You need to see G's foot person. He might be able to put them necks back in motion. Man. Yeah, nah, man. I ain't gonna say nothing else on that joint. But I will say one more thing. Michael B. Jordan saved that movie. So that's all I'll say. If it wasn't for that movie, it would have been like a 6 out of 10. So
that was the dopest scene.
It was the best scene, bro. It was the best, and it's true though. You don't always you can't choose your ancestors.
Yeah, that was a really well put together scene because I felt like I saw it coming, but like it still hit. It still hit though.
Like what you thought the T'Challa was gonna pop up? Like, bro, who, how, and where?
Yeah, I knew it was gonna be Killmonger. And the way Shuri was just bad the whole movie, it had to be Killmonger.
But also because they don't have the physical asset of using anybody else.
I didn't think it was gonna be Killmonger, honestly. I thought it was gonna be some old Avatar type stuff, like a whole bunch of ancient ghosts and Black Panthers of the past we never met.
Oh yeah, man.
They could have went that route.
Yeah, so Killmonger threw me when
I thought that was perfect because I was like, all right,
it really encompassed her anger.
It wasn't T'Challa. It was a reminder though. It was a reminder.
But if you think about it, Killmonger was angry. She was angry. The guy, the underwater guy, like he was filled with a lot of, and I do realize that these Marvel movies, especially, are just used to tell other stories. But I'm a little over it.
Yeah, I feel it though. I do feel you on the superhero notion, John. I'm like, damn. I literally was walking out of the movie theater that day, and I'm thinking like, yeah, I think I'm done with these joints. So
Yeah,
I feel you on that, but it's also because I was disappointed a little bit by it. It was solid. It was worth the price of admission, but it was not. It was a little bit of a letdown, to be honest.
Yeah, for me,
the whole superhero movie thing is oversaturated. If you're not gonna like dive into it on like some like, oh, I'm into like this universe, kind of like how y'all are with the Game of Thrones. You know what I mean? If you're not gonna look at it like that, then you're gonna be hard pressed to get a good one because completely oversaturated.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah. All facts, man. But yeah, I think that we could put a bow on this one, man. Christmas is next week as well. We're gonna talk a little Christmas talk next week.
It's Christmas next week?
Yeah, bro. It's like next week. Like it's like my fam out here talking about, yeah, what time we pulling up to the house and shit. I'm thinking like, oh damn, that shit coming like up.
Yo, I realized today at work we were talking about our favorite Christmas movies, and I realized today at work I don't like Christmas movies. Like
What?
I think Home Alone 2 is probably my favorite one, and then
we're talking
people were
about
just
that.
people
Yo.
were naming Christmas movies, and I was like, these are all trash. Like,
There's some neglectful ass parents on that Home Alone shit, bro. How you gonna leave that nigga alone 2 years in the row for Christmas, bro? Poor kid. He need therapy too.
nah, that might be a topic for another day though, because I really don't think any of the Christmas movies are good. Somebody said the one with Chris Brown, This Christmas or whatever.
Who said that?
It's not good enough.
That's nah.
Hold on.
Nah.
Red Claws is good. A Christmas Story is good. Like, come on.
Christmas Story is good.
You know what just popped in my head? Preacher's Wife. There's a good Christmas movie.
That's a Christmas movie?
What?
Isn't it? Isn't it at Christmas time, or is it just snowing?
That's not a Christmas movie, bro.
You know what's a good Christmas movie? Friday After Next.
Oh, there you go, Scruff. Now I got my second favorite.
There you go. We got some shit. What about Elf though? Everybody like Elf.
Nah, I don't like Elf, man. That's what I was saying at work, man. I was
Elf's
like, everybody
cool.
loves Elf, but
Elf's
I don't.
too corny
I
for
can't.
me, bro. It's a little too corny for me.
I like Will Ferrell too, but I just don't fuck with Elf.
I don't like him, in the Elf John screaming and shit. It's a little too much for me. But all right, man. It's been a good show, fellas. You know what time it is. Go check out gasmerchstore.com, man. We got some new heat up there. Support the squad. Support the Gas Elite basketball team, man. We're building the young kings up. We've been giving it back to the community, man. We're trying to do it the right way. But yeah, shout out to all the listeners out there, man. We appreciate y'all tapping in with us. If it's your first time, subscribe. If it's your second time, hit that like button. Hit that like button every time for real, bro, because like that does a lot for us in the algorithm and shit. So we appreciate you. But you know how we end everything, man. Sports for the culture.